Remember pizza pockets? Well, what if you could make them for your kids so that they're way more delicious and even the adults love them? Ham and cheese calzones? Let's do this. Right, so to make these calzones, I am actually just using purchased pizza dough. Hey, if you got some in your freezer that you've made yourself, good for you. I'm using purchased. I've got some cheese and ham. I have got these beautiful little tomatoes that I'm gonna cut up. And then of course I have my amazing parsley pesto. This is one of my favorites to Your Future Self. It's a foundational one. I think you should always have parsley pesto in the freezer because it's so versatile. It is the ultimate dinner building block. For example, you could turn it into these beautiful calzones. So, I'm just gonna chop up these tomatoes and then it's time to roll and fill. Okay, let's get everything organized here. Everything out of the way. Of course, I'm gonna need a surface to roll out these little calzones. They're just like little mini pizzas folded over. So let's make some room. Yeah. And then let's open this dough up. So one thing I always recommend, if you are using store-bought pizza dough, let it come fully to room temperature before you try rolling it out. If you try to roll it straight out of the fridge, you roll it and then it shrinks back up again. You roll it, it shrinks back up again. So it's really annoying to roll. So if you leave it out at room temperature, it really gets soft and it's a lot more pliable and it's a lot less annoying to roll out. So I'm gonna divide this ball into 5. Sprinkle some flour down on the counter first. Flip this bag inside out. This is very satisfying. Oh yeah. Okay, thank you, bag. And I want this to be in roughly 5 portions. This is about 700 grams of dough, so that's about 115 grams per calzone. So I'll just grab a knife here and let's see. Oh, dude, this is not gonna be pretty. Let's see, let's do it another way. Let's do it this way instead. Okay, that would be 4, so be a little bit smaller than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now I'm just gonna roll each one out into a nice oval. And I want the dough to get pretty thin. So I will use Mr. Rolling Pin. All right. I mean, maybe it's not exactly an oval, but it's getting there. Okay, so now I'm going to assemble these calzones. I want just a small spoonful of this pesto. This pesto is really intense. It is made with parsley and toasted nuts and a bit of garlic and lemon juice. So a little goes a long way. So I just need about a tablespoon. And I think of it like a sauce. So I'm gonna just smear that over the bottom half of this calzone. Looking good. See, it doesn't look like much, but it really delivers so much flavor. And then on top of that, I'll put one of these little half circles of ham, a couple of tomatoes, 1 and 2 and 3, and then just 1 slice of mozzarella. You could use grated if you wanted. And that's the stack. And so now I just need to flip this over the top, sort of try to line up the sides. If you have made it look nice and ugly like I have, sometimes the sides don't exactly line up. I'm just gonna kind of press them closed. And now I need to transfer this to a parchment-lined baking pan. There we go. And then at this point, I need my favorite fork. And I'm going to just crimp the edges like that. All those edges, make sure those are really nicely squashed together. And then with that same fork, I'm gonna stab it twice just to let some of the air out as it is baking. All right, repeat. These are all wrapped and folded. I'm just gonna brush them with a little tiny bit of olive oil. That'll just help the tops to get a little bit browner, a little bit crisper. And then once these are all painted up, into the oven, 425 degrees, somewhere between about 9 and 15 minutes, just until they're all bubbly and crisp. Ooh, puffy, sizzly. Yes, we are ready. I'm going to let these settle just for about 2 to 3 minutes because at this point they are scorchio, crazy hot. So just let them relax for a minute. You know, maybe pour yourself a glass of water, turn the oven off, take a deep breath, and then we'll cut one open. So these are all beautiful and toasty golden on top, and let's take a little wee peek underneath. They should be nice and dark brown underneath. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, gorgeous. All right, you're coming with me. So I would do one per person. Sometimes a person needs to eat 2. That's usually a teenage boy move. But I know that what you are dying to know is, what does this look like on the inside? Let's take a look, shall we? Oh. Oh. Ready? Oh yeah. So you can see all that, the tomatoes all hot and very hot and saucy. The pesto down there, it just smells so beautifully of pesto. A little bit of cheese, a little bit of ham in there. And as you can see, extremely hot. So maybe we're gonna just let that sit for a second before I take a bite and burn my face off. I love this. Packed with all kinds of delicious ingredients. Of course, you can customize this however you want. Someone's not eating meat? Hey, skip the ham in their calzone, etc. You get the picture. Makes this a perfect dinner to make everybody at the family table very happy. Ooh, for the full recipe of this delicious dish, click the link in the description below. And you know you want to have some of this parsley pesto on hand. So make sure you check out my Favours to Your Future Self Masterclass. That information is in the description below too. I'm getting right in here. It's gonna be hot, but it's gonna be worth it. Life is complicated, guys. Cooking shouldn't be. Happy cooking.